Welcome back, everybody. My name is Abby. Today's workout is going to be a strength circuit for low back health. So this workout is not meant to be done if your low back is actively acting up right now. I always recommend consulting with a doctor or physical therapist, especially if you have a specific issue that you're working with. But if your back is feeling relatively good and healthy and you just want to bring some strength and stability to that area, this is for you. We're going to start with a quick warm up. It'll be very brief, just getting a little bit of blood flowing to the muscles in the back body and the front body, waking up the spine and the surrounding areas. And then we'll move into 2 sets. And each set will be 6 minutes long with 3 different exercises. So we'll repeat those 3 exercises twice through for that set. The first set will be the following 3 exercises. Bird dog. And we'll just move from one side to the other for that whole minute, alternating the whole time. Deadlifts. And then plank hold. Knees can be up or down. Hands can be on the ground, or your forearms can be on the ground. Any variation. And then in the second set, we'll have the following 3 exercises. Single leg deadlifts. We'll do 30 seconds on each side, and you can do this without a weight, or you can add a weight. And then we've got ballistic high pulls. And then finally, side plank, 30 seconds on each side. And you can do any variation of side plank. You can have knees lifted. You could step one foot in front for more support, or you could set one knee down and be in a half gate pose instead. You could also do this on forearms if that's more comfortable. So any variation of side plank that feels right. As for the weight of the kettlebells, it's up to you. I'll be using a 50-pound for the deadlifts, the regular deadlifts, a 25-pound for the single leg deadlifts, and then either a 35 or a 40-pound for those ballistic high pulls. But choose a weight that works for you. Again, a reminder that we'll be doing each exercise for a full minute. So maybe starting a little bit lighter, and then you can always add if you want. But before we get into our proper workout, I want to warm up a little bit, especially because the low back can be a little cranky sometimes if we dive right in. So I want to warm up just with 2 really simple exercises. They're both belly down shapes. So if you can lay on your belly, we'll start on our belly. If you can't lay on your belly for whatever reason, feel free to just warm up however you'd like, and we'll meet you here in a moment. So for our first exercise, we're going to come down onto our belly with arms down by the sides. This is half locust pose, one of my favorites. And I want to keep my feet down, palms on the ground. And then I'm going to use my back strength to lift into just a gentle back bend. So I'm not lifting super high, and especially if you have a long fusion in your spine, you may only lift like just to a little hover. That's totally fine. The strength and the engagement is the important thing, not the height that you lift. So just being here for a few breaths, you might even feel a little lift and lower, or a rise and a fall with your breathing. Press your pubic bone into the ground, squeeze your butt muscles so your glutes are really strong here. Tops of the feet stay down, quads can be engaged, so you might even feel your kneecaps lift a little bit. And then release back down. You can rest your head on your hands here or turn your head to one side and take a couple breaths just letting your low back and glutes relax. And then we're going to try that same thing again, arms down by your sides, lifting into a little bit of a back bend, lots of strength in your back body. Press the pubic bone into the ground, glutes are engaged, legs are straight and strong. Feeling a widening across the front of the chest, a strengthening in the upper back. And then release back down. Again, you can turn your head to one side or just rest your head on your hands. And then from here, we're going to reach our arms out in front of us. I'm going to give myself a little bit more room here because I'm very tall. So arms are going to reach out in front with hands a little bit wider than the shoulders. And then palms are going to face each other. I'm going to keep all my limbs pressing into the ground, like actively pressing into the ground. And then feeling a widening across my upper back between my shoulder blades. I'm going to breathe wide into my ribs. So outer hands, pinky edges of the hands and forearms are pressing actively down. I feel a little activation around my shoulders. My head is hovering, so my forehead is not on the ground anymore. My head is lightly lifted. Tops of the feet press down, pubic bone presses down. It's like an advanced face plant. All right, and then release that. You can rest your head in your hands again. The intention here is to bring some strength to the front body, so your belly and core, as well as to the muscles around the shoulders, while also keeping a really long and supported spine. We'll try that same thing again, fallen tree pose, reaching the arms out in front of you. Palms face each other, hands a little wider than the shoulders, or if the shoulders are tight, hands might be very wide. And then press the outer hands and forearms down, feeling the armpits get a little deeper, shoulder blades get a little wider, tops of the feet and pubic bone press down. Breathe wide into your ribs. And then release that. Head can rest again on the hands. Take a couple breaths. Relax everything if you can. And then we'll just take one more locust and one more fallen tree. So arms come down by your sides again. Lift your heart. If you want to lift the legs this time around, you certainly can. Just make sure your low back and sacrum feel happy about that decision. A couple breaths here, feeling the lift and lower with your breathing. And then release that. We'll come right into fallen tree. Hands reach out in front of you. A little wider than the shoulders. Palms face each other. Head just hovers above the ground as you press the outer hands and forearms into the mat. Press the tops of the feet and the pubic bone into the mat, so glutes are still active, but so is your belly. And then breathing wide across the ribs, feeling the shoulder blades move wider apart. And then release that. You can bring the hands down by your sides, and we'll just push up into a seat and take a couple breaths just sitting back over the heels. If you want to sit on a blanket or a block for a little more support, great. Just take a couple breaths, finding a nice tall spine, broad breath. And then from here, we'll come right into our first set. So I'm going to pad my knees with a blanket because we're going to be on hands and knees for this whole first exercise. So I'm going to set my timer for 1 minute. And again, our first exercise is bird dogs. We'll just be marching through, moving from one side to the next, back and forth for that whole minute. So when you're ready, here we go. Bird dogging. Nice and easy pace. It's not a speed race. We're going for strength, feeling into the strength of the back, strength of the sides, strength of the belly. Doing your best to stay even through the shoulders and the hips rather than tipping or twisting. And keeping your eyes focused on a focal point so that you're not dipping your head towards the ground. The head is proud. Neck and extension of the spine. And just feeling all of the strength that goes into the movement. So it's not a huge movement, but it's a nice, well-rounded movement. Keep pushing down into the ground with that bottom hand. So bottom hand and shoulder are nice and stable. Oh, and that was a minute already. So if you need to even yourself out side to side, go for it. From here, we'll move right into the second exercise, which is deadlifts. So take a moment to stand on up, select your weight. I'm going to again use my 50-pounder, picking it up safely as I move it into position. And I'm going to start with that bell between my heels. And again, I'll set a timer for 1 minute. So here we go, not speeding through, moving mindfully. And here we go. Keeping the spine nice and strong and straight. Mildly explosive as we stand up. So there might be a, as you come up, glutes are engaged. I'm keeping my spine in a little tiny bit of back bend pretty much the whole time. And also supporting the stability of my spine with my belly and core. Breathing well, keeping your spine long, shoulder blades kind of hugging on your back, pulled back slightly. And a reminder, you don't have to be moving for the entire minute. You can always, of course, take a moment, take a rest, reset. Oh, and there's a minute again. Amazing, flies by. Now we're moving on to a plank hold. So when you're ready, we'll set up a plank pose. It can be knees up or down, however you want. But here we go. And also, minute is a pretty long time for a plank. So at any point, if you want to just lower the knees, even for a few breaths, totally great and groovy. You can always return. You can also just be in a really strong tabletop position too. That's totally fine. Wherever you are, try to tune into the strength of your belly and your side waists, feeling everything kind of hug in to support the weight of the lower spine and the pelvis. Hands push the floor away, or if your forearms are down, forearms push the floor away. So your upper back is broad. Similar position for the shoulder blades as we had in a fallen tree pose, our little warm up. So shoulder blades are broad here. Oh my gosh, we've got less than 10 seconds left. Keep breathing well, keep your belly buoyant. 3, 2, and 1. Come on down. All right, and then we're back to the beginning. So while we're down here, again, if you want to pad your knees with a blanket, go for it. We'll be coming back to those bird dogs. 1 minute marching from side to side. Here we go. And keep your spine long and neck long. Stable through the core, stable through the shoulders. Notice if your spine is twisting or tilting. See if you can keep it really level. Glutes are really active, assisting the low back as you lift the leg. Belly still active, keeping the low back buoyant. And bottom hand still pushes the floor away, just like it did in plank pose. Oh my gosh, we are at a minute already. So even yourself out if you need. And then we'll move back into deadlifts. So blanket can go to the side if you've had it. Stand back up. Grab your weight of choice. And we'll set up those deadlifts again. So 1 minute of deadlifts, not going fast, just going mindfully. Here we go. Fast on the way up, slow on the way down. Keep the shoulder blades pulled lightly back. Low spine, always in a little bit of a back bend, which is its natural state. And that breathing, that strong exhale as you stand up can help to engage the abdominals. So you might feel a little extra strength as you come up and hiss and spit in a good way. Less than 10 seconds. Oh, there's the time. Time flies when you're hissing and lifting weights. All right, our last exercise for this set, and then we'll be done, is a plank hold. Well, done with the first set. So set up in your plank of choice. Elbows down or up, knees down or up. 1 minute, here we go. And a reminder that for plank pose, we don't need to engage our butts so much. So sometimes it's tempting to think like, oh, it should be a totally straight line and my butt should be down. I actually encourage your butt to be pretty soft, your glutes to be relaxed. Belly is doing the buoying, hands are pushing down. Knees might even be just a tiny little bit bent, especially if you're having trouble feeling more than just your arms in the shape. Keep the neck and the head in line with the rest of the spine. Belly lifting towards the low back. Not sucking in or holding in the belly, but using the muscles of the belly to lift, to support the pose from beneath. Oh my gosh. 3, 2, 1. We're done. Here we go. Oh, we did the whole first set, 6 minutes. So take a little break, a little shake out of the limbs if you'd like. We'll be going into set 2, which again involves single leg deadlifts with or without a weight, ballistic high pulls, and then side planks, 30 seconds on each side. Give yourself a little more wiggling and shaking around, and then we'll move right into the single leg deadlift. So I'll use this weight, but feel free to use one or not, depending on how you feel. And I'll set a timer for 1 minute. When 30 seconds have gone by, we will switch to the second side. Here we go. Keep the spine nice and tall. The leg is just an extension of the spine, going back almost like an arabesque, a graceful arabesque of a dancer. Keeping that bottom foot really active and strong. We've got just about 6 more seconds on this side. And we'll switch to the other side. I'm just going to move my weight to my other hand and switcheroo. The glutes are strong in this shape. Low back is strong in this shape. Moving really mindfully, not moving fast. Lots of balance going on in that standing leg. As my knee bends and almost straightens. It never actually gets fully straight. Oh, and there's 30 seconds on that side. You can set that bell down. Come on up. Whew. Give a little shake out. And then we're moving into ballistic high pulls from here. So I'm going to use I'll use a 35-pound for this guy. And again, this is a nice, strong, powerful movement. Nothing slow about this guy. Although coming down, you can come a little slower. But strong and fast on the way up. So 1 minute. It's kind of a long time for this. You may get a little out of breath. Take a break if you need it. Reminder, you don't have to be moving the whole time. Here we go. 1 minute of ballistic high pulls. Careful of your teeth. Don't knock them out. Set the bell down with as much control as you can. Ballistic on the way up. And calm on the way down. Whew. Got about 20 seconds left. Again, you don't have to go quickly from one to the next. Strong and fast up. Calm on the way down. Feel free to pause between reps. 5 more seconds. Okay. Ooh, that's enough of that. That's fun. Okay, we'll clear our mat of props and accoutrement. And side plank will be where we go next. And again, any variation of side plank. A reminder, you can be with your bottom knee down for half gate. You can have your top foot stepped forward. Any version. And I'll let you know when 30 seconds has passed. And we'll switch to the other side. Whew, yeah, catch your breath. Here we go. 30 seconds on your first side. Keep your rib cage and your side waist lifting, so lots of strength, this whole side body that's closest to the ground. If it feels good, you could even extend your top arm alongside your ear. Sometimes that can help to have a more buoying effect, to lift into a little bit of a side bend. And switch to the other side. Similar to plank pose, it's tempting to feel like, oh, my body should be a totally straight line, a totally straight diagonal line in side plank. But in fact, I would encourage a little bit of a side bend or a side arc. So more lifting from the bottom side or the side of the body that's closest to the ground, rather than just trying to force yourself into a straight line. Oh, 2 more seconds. And we're done. Whew, and that whole thing one more time. So we're going back up to single leg deadlifts, again, with or without the weight. 30 seconds on the first side, and then we'll switch to the other. So here we go. Getting that weight, hoisting that weight, staying balanced through that standing leg. Don't have to move fast. In fact, moving slowly for this is, I think, significantly more challenging and just all around more supportive for the body. Keep your breath nice and even. Got about 5 seconds left on this side. All right, and then we're going to switch to the other side. 30 more seconds on this side. Strong and tall spine. Strong through the glutes as you lift that back leg. So here's where our body can be kind of one big stick from the head down to the foot that's lifting. Bottom leg bends and almost straightens. Oh my gosh. Time is up. Even yourself out. Oh, and there we go. Give the legs a little shake and a wiggle. Going back to our ballistic high pulls. And again, we'll go fast on the way up, controlled on the way down. Full minute, long time for ballistic high pulls, but we can do it. Here we go. You should feel lots of strength in your back, all the way up between the shoulder blades, all the way down into your glutes. That hissing sound, again, can help engage your abdominals. We're halfway there. Woo! Sometimes a minute feels so short. Sometimes it feels so long. We got it. We've got it. Again, don't move faster than feels like you can have really good form. Prioritize good form. And that's the time. We did it. I knew we could. We did. Oh yeah, okay. Side plank, 30 seconds on each side. And then this is done. We're done, people, after this. Amazing. Okay, so choose your variation of side plank. We'll be there for 30 seconds and go. And again, reminder, top arm can reach over the ear. You can lift a little bit more from the bottom side of the body, finding more of a side arc for the spine. Side waist and side ribs are lifting. Bottom hand is pressing down. 5 more seconds on this side. If your legs are straight, you can even think about lifting the ankles. Oops, switch sides. Sometimes starting with just lifting from the ankles can perk up the whole pose. Really give the pose a glow up. It's a great opportunity to catch your breath, right, in a side plank. Heart still pounding from those ballistic high pulls. Well, great news. We've got 5 seconds left. 3, 2, and 1. And back again. What a treat. Give our body a little shake and a wiggle. Take some deep breaths. And then we'll come back to that warm up and we'll just do that same thing but as a cool down. And if you have any other favorite cool downs that you'd like to do, feel free to. I think it's nice to end with a little bit of symmetrical strength after a lot of asymmetrical strength. So if you'd like, you can join me for just a brief little cool down, revisiting half locust pose and fallen tree pose. So come down onto our bellies and then take the arms down by the sides. Walk those feet back, legs are long. Lift into half locust. And it is actually kind of a nice place to catch your breath, to breathe deeply, to feel the lift and lower with your inhale and exhale. And then we'll come down and out of that. Take a moment to just rest your forehead on your hands. Relax your glutes, relax your low back. A couple breaths here. And then same thing again, arms down by your sides. Half locust pose. If you want to lift your legs for full locust, again, you certainly can. Just being mindful of the low back and the sacrum area. Make sure they're happy. And then release. You can rest your head again. Take a couple breaths. And then from there, make sure you have enough space in front of you to reach your arms out in front. Hands a little wider than shoulders. Fallen tree pose again. So tops of the feet stay down. Pubic bone presses down. Outer hands and forearms press into the mat or into the ground. And shoulder blades get wider as the armpits get deeper. Breathe wide across your ribs. And then give yourself a rest. Foreheads can rest on hands. Notice if your glutes are still clenched. Relax them if they are. And then again, stretch the arms out in front. Palms face each other. Press the outer hands and the forearms down. Press the pubic bone down. Press the tops of the feet down. So it's like you're resisting the ground with your whole body, pushing against it. And then release. And then one more half locust pose. Arms down by your sides, lifting your upper body, maybe your legs as well. And then right out into one more fallen tree. Hands, outer hands press down, forearms press down, armpits deepen, shoulder blades widen, pubic bone and tops of the feet press into the ground. And then release that. You can rest your head on your hands. Take another couple of breaths here. You can rock your head a little side to side or jiggle your hips a little bit right to left. And then from here, we'll come all the way back up. Use your belly to help push away from the ground. And come back up with your strong backs. So take your time moving into the next thing that you've got for the day if you can. And thank you so much for being here. Take care of your backs, take care of your spines, take care of your hearts. I'll see you soon.